Hey, welcome in. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe, leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. Become a diehard, go PHNX.com. Pick up a free hat or t-shirt every single year. You are a diehard. I'm diehard for OGs. Flavoring Fridays, not your average cannabis-infused gummy. Love our friends at OGs. Check them out. Head on over, ogbrands.com to see their full lineup. I'm here with my co-host, Bo Brack, on a Football Friday, as well as Name and Dog, president captain of hashtag Hold the Line. We holding the line here on a Fan Mock Friday, Bo, the last Fan Mock Friday of draft season. Kind of sad.
It is bittersweet. It is bittersweet. Loaded up with your mock drafts out there. So we look to the chat, Michael Evans, AJ, what's going on? Darren, Cardinal Sin 96. Alex, Chris Taylor, Sports Hero. Love to see everybody in there. If I didn't name you, I apologize, but we're already up close to 100 live joining us here, and less than a week away, and nothing has been established as far as what the Arizona Cardinals are going to do, but reporters from the two teams that have been identified as probably the biggest contenders to get up the draft board are reporting that the Cardinals are in business for trading down in the NFL draft.
Yeah, I mean, say we had Benjamin Albright on this show. If you didn't check out the interview, it's on PHNX Sports here on YouTube, and was very much leading the charge for Hold the Line. Believes right now, as of today, the Cardinals are going to keep pick 4 and select Marvin Harrison Jr. Then this morning, we're going through the tea leaves here on Twitter, the Twitter streets. We're trying to drum up, check out new information as it becomes available. One of the best things about this show is we're always available to change and evolve with new information. Mm-hmm. Well, this comes directly from an ESPN Giants reporter. No dog in this fight, except for has to keep tabs on what's happening with the Giants. Here's the report. This is from Jordan Raanan, who is the Josh Weinfuss of the New York Giants for ESPN. And he's saying, I spoke with multiple GMs this week. They were all of the belief, all of them, that QBs will go in each of the first 4 picks in the draft. That means the Giants would have to go and trade up to get one of Jaden Daniels, Drake May, or J.J. McCarthy. Not going to be cheap with the Vikings plus others on the prowl. And again, this goes in line with everything we're hearing out of Minnesota. Their writers and reporters and hell, their own color commentator is saying that they expect quarterbacks to go 1, 2, 3, 4, that the temptation at the end of the day, Bo, will be that somebody is going to trade enough for Monty Austin-Ford to pivot off MHJ at pick 4 so they can come up and get J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, look, it's one of the worst kept secrets in the league. You had Joe Ortiz, the new general manager of the Chargers, hold his pre-draft press conference yesterday. And, was it a slip of the tongue? Was he one of those general managers that, the Giants reporter has spoken with as far as he expects quarterbacks to go 1, 2, 3, 4? And yeah, the Cardinals aren't in the business of drafting quarterbacks. So in order for that to happen, they would have to make a deal. But yeah, then you've got you've got Benjamin Albright talking about what a potential Giants deal would look like. And he had mentioned a future first in that. And can we get into the conversation now that that's what's going to be the cost of coming up just 2 picks, right? Because you do have the Vikings looming. You do have a desperate Denver Broncos team. You do have a Raiders team that has been on the Twitter streets today with rumors of them wanting to come up and reunite Antonio Pierce and Jaden Daniels, which should be 4-letter words because of, Pierce's involvement in ASU that just got sanctioned today. So
not good.
There is a competitive market, and it's not going away. And Monty Austin-Ford said yesterday in his pre-draft press conference, he used the analogy of, look, I love my house. I love my house. I have no intention of leaving my house. I'm setting down roots. I've got my family here. We're happy here. But if somebody knocked on my door and overwhelmed me with an offer, he's going to round up the troops and he's going to go find a new home, and he's going to set him and his family up for financial success now and down the road. And, Monty Osfort, to piggyback that analogy, Johnny, like, I think he's told his wife, and he mentioned her name yesterday, Shannon, like, I think he's like, get the boxes out. Like, let's start packing some things. I'm anticipating some big offers.
Yeah, I think the offers are already coming in, obviously. They've been trying to make this deal. Other teams, not Austin Ford. So I want to be clear. We're not actively saying the Cardinals are trying to be proactive in trading down, but they're proactive in picking up the phone. They understand that these teams are desperate. Like we outlined kind of tongue-in-cheek, or at least I did yesterday at the end of the show, kind of ripping through the Giants and the Vikings and the Broncos, right? But like the reality situation is this, like unless you're one of those teams that believe, like I saw Colin Cowherd today say, the Broncos need to just commit to Bo Nix. Like he could be their Drew Brees. Like you're in a position now, you either talk yourself into that reality, which is basically a lottery ticket far-fetched, very minimal chance that happens, or you look at next year's draft prospects and you say, we got to do what it takes to get up this year. I don't think the Broncos are a serious player. Benjamin Albright outlined that. Like, I believe Peyton's desperate, but I think he does end up with either a Nix or a Penix. I think the two teams, and we put it in the show title, that are going to contend for this spot are the Minnesota Vikings and the New York Giants. I think the New York Giants, as much as people say they want to get skill players, what does a skilled player do for the Giants? It does absolutely nothing. It delays the inevitable for a week or two before you get fired mid-season if you're Brian Daboll.
Right.
I mean, it's probably the difference between maybe 2-10 and 1-11 or whatever it is. Like, I love Malik Nabers and Rome Odunze. They're not helping the New York Giants win anything this year, if that's your quarterback play. The only way that these teams can salvage their job and get a bridge to a future contract extension is with a franchise quarterback, especially Kevin O'Connell. The sense of urgency that the Vikings have to feel after striking out for a trade up last year, the fan base is ready to explode. My question for you is, do you believe there's going to be a package proposed to the Cardinals that the Chargers would take and the Cardinals do not? Because I think there's a lot of misinformation. I think the Chargers and the Cardinals asking price is almost one and the same.
Yeah.
The Chargers,
I don't disagree with that.
The Chargers with Jim Harbaugh do not want to pass on an opportunity to take Joe Alt or Malik Nabers or Marvin Harrison Jr. So I think there's a lot of speculation. I saw Colin Cowherd had his mock, and he said Harrison 4, Chargers get a big package and a trade down. No, I think the packages are the same.
Yeah. I don't doubt that. And why wouldn't you want to try to put yourself in a position to get up as high as possible? And if it's, if 5, what's the point of negotiating with Harbaugh when you can get up to 4 and secure it a pick later, have some breathing room between yourself and the New York Giants. So, I don't think that they're in the business of giving any discounts. I mean, Ortiz is the general manager of the Chargers is in a similar situation to Monty Ossenfort last year. Like he's a first-year general manager. He's not going to come in here and start giving out handouts. He's not going to set that precedent. I mean, if he does, then he's going to be Steve Keim the following draft season. Like, and they're going to be hitting him up to make and get sweetheart deals. Like, every general manager is out there looking to beat the trade chart and sway the deal heavily in their team's favor. That's their job. And then, it's as far as these other organizations that are quarterback needy, their job is to do whatever it takes to secure a QB because they feel like that's what their organization, that's what their franchise severely lacks and needs to move forward. When we talk about the New York Giants and they say, hey, we need all these positions, we need skill players, we need this and that. I mean, before Daniel Jones went out for his injury, he was terrible. Outside of the Arizona Cardinals game, which was one of the worst, defenses as far as personnel goes.
Let's consider the personnel the Cardinals.
Yeah, consider the personnel. Without Budda Baker, remember, he went on IR that week.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones, 2 touchdowns and 6 picks. I mean, he just was not good. The Giants offense was sputtering and slumping and brutal outside of the second half against the Arizona Cardinals. That was it. Like his 2 touchdown passes that he threw in that game. Outside of that, he was shut out. He was terrible. He was absolutely awful. And, I think that Brian Daboll, like, it seemed like their relationship was strained. You saw a lot of, upset Daboll with Daniel Jones before he went out with his injury. It's like, and it's everybody joke on the Twitter streaks like, oh yeah, breakout season in year 6. Everybody's primed for it. And Daniel Jones and it's hilarious, but it's also a sad reality. It's like, the Giants, they understand where they are. They're at a crossroads and they need to find a new signal color to go forward. And if they have any kind of confidence in themselves, like if you're in a prime position to where it might not cost you nearly as much as it will the Vikings. Like you can get up, it'll cost you. It will probably be tough to take. But if you think that JJ McCarthy that you've done all this homework on is the guy, then what's holding you from making the deal? There shouldn't be anything.
Yeah, what is your future if you're the New York Giants? If your future is Daniel Jones, you're going to get fired. You've made your bet. They were pressed into that deal by ownership. Everybody regrets that now. I think the ownership is going to give everybody a mulligan on that deal. But again, is Drew Lock helping you make the postseason in the NFC? Absolutely not. You need hope with the New York Giants. And I love these receivers. I only love them in part because they've got Kyler Murray throwing them the football in Arizona and Justin Herbert in Los Angeles. Like, again, and then Caleb Williams potentially in Chicago. Like these wideouts, we've seen receivers get wasted and mistreated by, poor quarterback play. And I think that like the Giants are asking to set themselves up. I think the Giants end up trading up. Like if I had to guess today, I think they come up from 6-4. I think they make the most sense. Everything that we're led to believe, I don't think the Cardinals want to entertain a trade with the Vikings at this point. I think it's dropping too far down. Now maybe they blow them away and I'm putting my foot in my mouth, but I do think the more we hear about Monty Ossenford and taking advantage of this class, like the only way you do a deal with the Vikings is if you can come back up, and that's very difficult. Whereas with the Giants, if you're splitting hairs, as our guy Brian Baldinger said, you're just going to take Malik Nabers or Rome Odunze at 6, or potentially be gifted, something from the football gods with MHJ somehow being there at pick 6 still. But I mean, I find it hard to believe that the New York Giants will not give up something of note, pay a little bit of a premium so that Monty Ossenford can take a couple extra picks and go down 2 spots. And the Giants can say, you know what? We didn't break the bank. I think everybody can feel good about that deal too. Whereas like the Minnesota Vikings clearly overstepped and they don't feel good about anything right now.
Yeah.
They're talking about hanging on to pick 23, backtracking and taking a different quarterback. Like I think that the marriage that's there to be had, if the Cardinals are intent to do this, and I still believe that they are, is to say to the New York Giants, we've got other offers. They're more significant. We want a chance at one of these receivers. What's your best offer today while they're on the clock? And I think it's going to be good enough. I really do. What does Joe Alt or Malik Nabers or Rome Odunze do for the New York Giants? It doesn't do anything. It does not do anything, and they know that deep down. This is a quarterback league.
Well,
you will get fired without a quarterback. If you're Brian Daboll, you committed to the Giants knowing that you would one day get to pick your quarterback. You've had to have 2 years, Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones. Like it's time.
Hey, no disrespect to Tommy DeVito. Come on, show a little respect to Tommy DeVito. Could you? Would you?
Hey.
I mean, that's the quarterback room.
Well, if I'm Daboll, look what I did with DeVito and Tyrod
DJ.
Taylor.
Yeah, it's DJ. It's Drew Lock. It's Tommy DeVito, which is wild. And is it going to compete in an NFC East with a Philadelphia Eagles team and a Dallas Cowboys team and a Washington Commanders team that's going to be it's going to be improved from last year, no doubt about it. It looks like they're going to go with Jaden Daniels. But yeah, it just makes too much sense. And, there's multiple reports out there as far as what the Cardinals' intentions would be. And that, with the comments from Monty Ossenfort and the idea that he likes to accumulate assets, but that this team is also focused on blue chip prospects. Where's the compromise is 6. The compromise is 6. Who can offer the best deal and also give you the opportunity to get a really, really good prospect in this draft? And yeah, I know that the Hold the Line crew out there doesn't want to hear that. And it does still keep the door ajar as far as Marvin Harrison Jr., but it's unlikely.
It doesn't shut it.
But more realistically, it's like, okay, who have they identified as wide receiver 2 in this draft?
Right.
Malik Nabers or Rome Odunze. So it's we still got a long way to go. We're 6 days away basically. But There's still a lot to figure out. And, for those who are holding the line, those who just want Marvin Harrison Jr. in a Cardinals uniform, it could be the slowest, most painful death of all. Like, to get you all the way to the clock with Marvin within your grasp and it to be ripped from your hands.
Well, I think fair or not, like, people were upset with today's show title because it was assumed confirmation from Benjamin Albright yesterday the Cardinals were going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. It's like, if the Cardinals stay at 4, they're taking MHJ. But then when new information comes out and it's like, yeah, everybody's expecting that pick to still be traded, guys. Like, we're going to react to that. It would be irresponsible for us to say it's an MHJ coronation here for the next 6 days. Like, until we get something definitive. Like, Rapsheet was on our buddy Jody Ayler's show this morning and basically said, like, Broncos not realistic with Surtain. I think the Cardinals want to stick and pick, but if they're blown away with an offer, I think Schrager's a little bit more of the mindset that the Cardinals are going to be blown away. Like, there's too many QB needed teams with picks. Listen, if Schrager puts down another trade down in his mock next Wednesday, I mean, you got to feel pretty. If you're hoping for a trade down, you got to feel pretty good about that. If you're not, then you got to be a little antsy as it relates to the Cardinals' prospects of sticking and picking.
At that point, you take the customized Marvin Harrison Jr. Jersey out of your browser, out of your favorites. Yeah. You don't have that bookmarked anymore, and that's a tough day. Like, as much as people want to say that I want a trade down, which is false, and I'll continue to maintain that.
We're both in that same category.
Yeah, I mean, you never back me up anytime people.
I do. I always back you. Come on
now. But I mean, it's that would be not a final nail in the coffin, but it would be significant. And like, when we talk about, the reporter today, Jordan, and when you've got, Shregs, and who was the reporter from the Minnesota side of things, because there was some reports as far as Minnesota went.
Everybody in Minnesota feels like they're coming up to 4.
Right. Everybody feels like the Vikings are coming up. Right. So, with all that being said, like, the Cardinals aren't giving you much, as they shouldn't. They should be tight-lipped. They should play it close to the vest, be the opposite of Steve Keim, and not leak out all the information, and really go and look at what the deals are, and then make, what you feel is the one that's going to blow you away and also put you in a best position to come out of this draft a winner. But you're getting insight from people who are locked into these other organizations and what they're hearing from at least their side of things.
And here's what I'll say, not to knock anybody in this media market. And we try our best to break news and provide news.
I can't wait for this. This is spill the tea. What are you about to say?
Well, let me just ask everybody for a second here. Okay. We try to break news. We had the Jonah Williams news ahead of time. We had some information, Dobbs, last year. When we have news, we give it. When was the last time, and somebody in this media market for this team broke a significant story about this team? It's usually one of the national guys. So our inclination then is to turn around and say, okay, well, if people in New York are saying it as it relates to the team they cover, like, I'm going to listen to that until somebody here locally gives me a reason to say you're on the money outside of this show or whatever, respectfully. Like, if you're not just riding page views and coattails, like, that's how I feel about this. And not to say that I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to these other markets, but I will take it case by case. The people in Minnesota are lockstep with what's happening there. The New York Giants, everybody in ESPN would love to be able to crack the story on whether or not the Giants are going to take a quarterback. The minute somebody reputable here locally says, this is what the Cardinals plan to do, we're breaking some news here, like, I'm inclined to believe other markets because no one here has allowed me to say that's my go-to. Like, we like to be that show. We have this information. I can't tell you what they're going to do next week. I think they're going to trade the pick. If I knew it definitively, I would tell everybody. But, like, I would say right now the Cardinals are quiet partially because there's nobody to lean on here in this local market. Fair or not?
Right. I mean, last time somebody spoke up, they were talking about, well, might not be Marvin for. They might be looking at some of these tackles. It's like, okay.
And this is all due respect. Like, we're not knocking anybody. Just like, come on, let's call a spade here.
Right.
Tell me.
We know definitively that if it wasn't a trade down scenario, that if they were to stick and pick, it's Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, we've known that since January.
Yeah.
We were told that. We know that. They love him. If they pick it for, it's going to be him. We also said that they were going to prioritize offensive line and free agency. They were going to prioritize defensive line. It's what they did. When we have information, picks, and players, we'll give it out on this show. I wish more than anything I could sit here and say, guys, sleep easy for 6 nights. They're going to take MHJ. I would love that for the selfishness of this show. This show is better when MHJ is a part of the Arizona Cardinals. Unequivocally. We're not rooting for anything. But like, I cannot open up my Twitter browser and all I see is trade, odds for a trade, JJ McCarthy out to dinner with the Giants, out to dinner with the Vikings. Just like, what are we supposed to believe here? I think right now, fair or not, you have to peg this as a 50-50 coin flip. It is 100% 50-50, split it right down the middle. That's where we're at.
And it's good problems to have.
It is.
I mean, some people see it from it's got to be Marv and that's it. But I certainly don't view it that way. Like, I think that if you don't get the asking price that you have put, and you've set it at a very high level to be blown away. You know, when you talk about the Vikings, you got to start with the negotiations with 3 firsts. And then you start talking to the Giants. It's got to be significant, even though they're only coming up 2 spots. But if nothing materializes, if nobody meets that asking price, there's no spin. You just stick and pick and you take the best player on the board. Like there's not Monty Ossenford having to answer to anybody. Like everybody, like people are most likely more happy and content with the decision than if they were to take the trade packages.
Let me read you some text messages. I think I can do this. With somebody that like knows what's going down. Not exactly what's going down, but basically it's like, guys, they're not one player away. That's coming from within the organization. Like, they believe that Marvin Harrison Jr. is a game changer for them, but they also realize, like, they have to win games this year. They have to flesh out this roster. And it's important to understand, like, if they have an opportunity to inject this roster with 6 first-round picks in 2 years, 2.5 years, and get their roster up to snuff with San Francisco, that's going to keep everybody employed. That's what they're weighing right now. Yeah. Marvin Harrison Jr. versus the prospect of a shit ton of picks, day 1 and day 2, because here's the thing, guys. Even with Marvin Harrison Jr., and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, Bo. Marvin Harrison Jr., let's say they have a really nice rest of the draft, 27-35, get a couple players a note, right? I mean, they're still going to be picked at best 3rd in the division. They're still going to be a fringe playoff team, 7 or 8 wins. Now, you can build off of that. You can surprise people, but there's still a chance. Big hole at corner, hole at pass rusher, some inconsistencies on the defensive line. Maybe left guard didn't get situated. There are some issues, some trouble spots that only so much Marv can clean up. And that's what they're weighing right now. So I think, again, I can get caught up in this hoopla of draft season and we're locked into one singular player. That is not how they think. They think, listen, at the end of the day, if we've got a golden ticket to jumpstart this roster and you basically pick 4, it's like a lottery ticket. You win the draft lottery and have all these extra tickets and you're confident in the players that are going to be there. You know, they have to at least explore it. If Ossenford wasn't exploring it, he wouldn't be doing his job.
Yeah. In the conversation yesterday with Ossenford for his pre-draft press conference, he was asked about the depth at the wide receiver position. And like, it does give you the flexibility to maybe wait and not reach. And, you know, if they were to trade out, like, I think that there's full confidence, especially with the talent. You know, in Baldy saying he expects potentially 30 guys to get selected at the position in this draft class.
Well, Schrager's mock had like 10 receivers.
Yeah. I mean, he had guys coming up. He had Jalen Polk at 32nd overall in his draft, who's a guy that I've seen, you know, as low as a 3rd rounder. So it's an impressive group. And if you think about what the belief in the quarterback, in Kyler Murray, from Jonathan Gannon and Drew Petzing and Izzy Wolfork, and of course the general manager in Monty Ossenford, like, they believe with the right infrastructure as far as play calling and of course offensive line play, that Kyler Murray he's capable of elevating a pedestrian to below average wide receiver core. Now they're not going to do that to him. Like they have confidence in Michael Wilson. They do have confidence in Greg Dortch. And then anything you add to this wide receiver core is an improvement on where they finished the year last year, which was a top 10 offense. Now, if you give him Marvin Harrison Jr., you give this offense rocket fuel. It can take off and get you to the moon. No doubt about it. I don't doubt that. But you still have the issue of getting off the field on the defensive side of the football and all the needs that you outlined. Like you did beef up the defensive line. You went kind of quantity over quality, right? You got some guys that, when I talk to CHGO Bears, they like Justin Jones, but man, $30 million for Justin Jones and Bilal Nichols, and like they're available, right? But are they the guys that are going to be game-wrecking defensive linemen? No, but they're going to be solid players, and they can help once you get some edge rushers and stuff like that to where you can make some quarterbacks uncomfortable and you can be better against the run. And then you still have if you can rush, you need a cover, and you added Sean Murphy-Bunting, but that doesn't, your other options are Keitrell Clark, a 6th-round pick, and a guy in Starling Thomas. Like you need upgrades. Like you need significant upgrades almost across the board defensively, and that's just with the starters. And then you've got to look at depth because we know the ugly reality of the NFL. You're going to deal with injuries. It's inevitable.
The team was so competitive at the end of the year with Kyler, and that's a testament to Gannon. The team didn't quit. Kyler played well, but I think it masks a lot of the issues on this team. Like I really do. I think go back and look at some of those starting lineups that they fielded out, Bo. I mean, they need some help here. I'm going to help you with our friends at BetMGM. So I want everybody to take this line into consideration. So these are the odds to draft J.J. McCarthy based on our friends at BetMGM right now. We're not at a specific pick, Bo, but I want you to listen to these odds.
Okay.
Team to draft J.J. McCarthy. The favorite by a good margin are the Minnesota Vikings at plus 115. So almost even money. You know who the number 2 team is to draft J.J. McCarthy? The Patriots at plus 300. What would happen if the Patriots took McCarthy at pick 3? What would that then happen to pick 4?
The value goes up, right?
Correct, with Drake May. Number 3 is the New York Giants at plus 500, and then the Broncos at plus 800. So the major players to take J.J. McCarthy are the Vikings, the Patriots, and the Giants. The Giants aren't trading with the Chargers to get J.J. McCarthy, and we would presume that the Vikings at the end of the day would have to make a deal with the Cardinals. So again, I want everybody to take that into consideration here ahead of next week. And of course, you can make all these bets and more with our friends at BetMGM. And if it's your first time, Bo, at BetMGM, you can do the first bet offer up to $1,500 back in bonus bets. So feel confident that old J.J. McCarthy is going to head to the New York Giants. You're going to be able to put down at least $1,500 in bonus bets if the bet loses. So if it wins, you get your payout. If it loses, $1,500 up to in your bank account. But you got to download the BetMGM Sportsbook app on your iOS or Android device, or you got to check them out at betmgm.com. I have the app on my phone. It's fantastic. Check it all the time. The lines are always moving, but you got to sign up and deposit. Again, at least $10 to get those bonus bets. Check out the show notes for full details. Now listen to my guy, Shane Diefenbach, talk about it in the disclaimer.
Bets expire in 7 days. One new customer offer only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Let's talk about our friends over the Arizona Lottery. Love lottery. Our friends over at AZ Lottery. They got the AZ Adventure promotion. It's going on. AZadventure.com. You can win $1 million in cash and travel prizes. You can there's a couple ways you can win, guys and gals. You just get the normal scratcher that's got 3 iconic landscapes on it right now. You got Picacho Peak, Monument Valley, and then also Camelback Mountain right down the street from our studios. You just scratch them off. You can win up to $50,000. Also, you can check in the geolocated spots across our great state and enter tickets online to potentially win $1 million cash in Arizona Lottery prizes. And some of the A lot of the proceeds go to the communities around the state for initiatives across this great state, environmental conservation, among other important initiatives. Check out Arizona Lottery's AZ Adventure, azadventure.com for more information on how you can take an adventure for a chance at $1 million cash in Arizona travel prizes.
It's crazy. Like, you got Peter Schrager on McAfee yesterday saying the Patriots really like J.J. McCarthy. And then there are a bunch of reports today that they don't like, or excuse me, that they like Drake May. And then a bunch of reports today saying that people in New England don't like Drake May. So, again, like, I still am inclined, even with the Jaden Daniels Commanders snafu, where supposedly Jaden Daniels' agent didn't love that he was being brought in with all the other quarterbacks. Like, I still think Jaden ends up a Commander. But do you, like, I asked Albright this yesterday.
See where they were selling, so their punter Tress Way wears number 5, and they heavily discounted his jersey because you have to. The Commanders, they have to, like Kirk Cousins. If he wanted number 8, he had to buy all the number 8 jerseys.
Yeah,
he didn't want to do that. So they're trying to get rid of the Tress Way jerseys because what number is Jaden Daniels wear?
5.
Yeah.
Has anybody checked if Cardinals are discounting BJ Ojulari jerseys on the team site? Might be a good tell.
Is it available?
I don't know. These are available. Let's get to these super chats. You guys are crushing it. Drop a like here. We get to 500 likes. That would be fantastic. We get to 350 live. Bo and I will go live Sunday night for Cards After Dark. Yet again, get us to 350.
If we do a show Sunday night, that means we're going to be doing a show Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's 7 straight days.
Boys and their toys here. That guy, Angelo, 187, $5 super chat. I'm watching Pat McAfee. A fan asked, what few when NFL teams will have a comeback year? They said Jets, Panthers, Bears were always underrated. The Panthers may not win a game next year. The Jets have the shortest shelf life in the NFL. That franchise is a disaster. I am buying the Bears. I think the Bears are going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's
Panthers and their like $150 million they gave to guards this summer.
They spent the most money by a lot, and they hired the offensive coordinator from the Buccaneers as their head coach.
Smart.
Is Canales going to unlock what they got going down there? Young is he going to figure it out? What have they given him? They don't have their first round pick. Like where is the infusion of talent that's going to?
They're going to run the wing T offense that we saw at ASU last year. They're going to run the ASU offense.
I agree with Angelo, man. They're completely underrated. It's flying under the radar. And that's the one. That's another part of the Marvin thing. Like you add a player the caliber of Marvin Harrison Jr., people start talking about you and give you a little bit more respect.
He's box office.
Yeah.
Cole, $5 just became a diehard today.
Yes.
All right. Oh, let's go. Great show. PHNX offers a very refreshing take on AZ Sports Media. # hold the line. Thank you so much, Cole. Shout out. And when you get your package in the mail, snap a photo of it. Tag us on Twitter. We'd love to see it.
That's right. Love that. Love that. Welcome, Cole. There are a lot of conversations going on in the member Discord. It's where most of our Mock Draft Friday mocks came from. People are just dialing up the mock drafts today, and we're going to get to them here shortly. But yeah, welcome. It's unbelievable.
So many mocks. I love it so much.
Yeah. Cole is our newest diehard, so it's fantastic. Make sure, let's hit the like button to celebrate Cole becoming a member here at PHNX Sports. Charlie Sinclair, our resident Chargers fan. Don't worry, guys. I'll hold the line for us, the Bolts there in LA. Like, all right, Charlie. Like, let's let it play out. Let's see how it goes.
Charlie can talk that shit, man. Chargers are a good spot.
He absolutely can. He can. Jared, $2 super chat. Thank you, Jared. Albright, a fan in denial. Give me Sertan # Monty. I don't know if Benjamin covers the Broncos. I would. He's.
There was another report this morning by like either ESPN's Bronco reporter saying they're going to try to trade down. They don't have enough assets. They have because of the Russell trade and the Peyton trade. We laugh about it. Like, I do think Bo Nix fits there from like a geographic standpoint and a coaching standpoint. Yeah, I just think that's
closer. Like Oregon's closer.
Yeah, I think it's a good fit. It's not my least favorite thing. Like I think he can be serviceable, and he's a little mobile. I would trust Sean Payton more with Bo Nix than a lot of teams.
based on what Drew Brees a couple of years ago, like prime Drew Brees.
I mean, he had Russ playing decent last year. They have no weapons. That team needs everything. I do think it would be reckless for the Broncos to come up for JJ McCarthy.
Remember SCC Bo Nix?
I do.
Yeah, he was a disaster. He was. Like, how you think he's just going to go right from being like 5th or 6th year senior at Oregon to like the AFC West and like continue the success? No, he's gonna take his lumps, and he didn't take them very well when he was playing at Auburn.
Charlie Sinclair, $1.99. How about this? Johnny knows ball. Thank you so much, Charlie. Appreciate that. Los Angeles Charger GM said, light the chart on fire. Yeah, light it on fire, put it in the garbage disposal, take out the trash. These teams that just think they're going to get a little cutie discount. You're not. You got to pay a premium.
Chart comes into play like day 2 picks. I think the chart maybe like still comes into play if you're trying to move up from like 25 to 23. But when you're trying to get in the top 10, like stop referring to the Jimmy Johnson trade chart. Like it's
even Albright said it yesterday. It's like you get in the top 6, like people name their price. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. Charlie Sinclair also jumping in back-to-back super chats. Thanks, Charlie. Going from 6 to 4 is better than 6 to 5.
I just don't think the Chargers can trade with the Giants. I think that reduces their leverage, Charlie. And I think here's the problem. And just again, this whole situation is let's talk it out. Say it out loud. The Chargers can't leverage a trade with the Vikings because they don't have the Giants as a trade partner. The Giants and the Cardinals and the Vikings are all in bed together having those conversations because where the Cardinals pick. So who has the most leverage to get the package that they want? The Arizona Cardinals, which is why I believe eventually they're going to deal the pick. That's it at the end of the day. If the Chargers believe that they can hold out hope that the Vikings are going to give them a bunch of ones, who are they leveraging that against? Because if they don't get the package they want, they are going position player, and McCarthy goes to the Giants at pick 6.
Turn down the lights and let Johnny tell you about who's in bed together talking trades.
Well, figuratively, not literally.
Jim Harbaugh's khakis on the dresser over there.
Okay, that's a little too much information there.
How about Daniel with his $19.99 very generous super chat?
Thank you, Daniel.
Hopefully he doesn't want to take it back after that few minutes of
that's a saying. People say that. People say that's a thing.
Daniel, love y'all. Retiring from the Navy next year and coming home to AZ. Cannot wait for that, Daniel. Welcome back home as soon as it happens. Beers on me next draft party.
Wow,
I wanted Sean Payton as our next head coach. Now I think he'll be our golden goose.
Ooh.
12 PS2 round 1 in 2025, top 5 or drive up offers HTFL. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for your service. Can't wait for you to get home, my man.
Beers on us, Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely. The beers are on us. Next draft party. Can't wait to get back to the Valley.
I think the Denver Broncos are a great fantasy trade partner. The closer we get to this, probably not in reality. And I also think you got to look at the timeline. Kevin O'Connell's been the coach. This is his 3rd year. Dable's been the coach. This is his 3rd year. I mean, how much cachet does Sean Payton have? He's got all of it. Whereas those guys, maybe there's a little bit more sense of urgency there. Gannonite, $9.99. This comes down to Drake May. Okay. If May goes at 2 or 3, MHJ is a Cardinal. If May somehow falls to 4, that's when a sizable offer comes and he strongly considers taking it. I mean, why, though, do the Patriots pass on Drake May if they pass on Drake May? Like, what's the issue? Because there's nothing that I'm inclined to.
You've seen how chaotic he could be.
But there's nothing on tape that would lead you to believe that JJ McCarthy is going to be a better pro than Drake May. I just can't. I can't believe that.
I mean, you talk about the projectables, like you give May the edge, right? As far as,
better physical tools.
Yeah, absolutely. Arm talent is really impressive about Drake May. I think people get excited when they watch him throw the football. But playing within a system, but then also when your number is called making a big throw, I think that's appealing from JJ McCarthy. Like he was able to do it, and he was able to do it in big moments where Drake May kind of shrunk a little bit against not Big Ten talent or not in college football playoff semifinals and championship games. Drake May did it. He shrunk against Virginia. and in like
Oh,
NC
God.
State.
You remember that game?
Yeah,
You remember there were people were telling us we need to draft Drake May to replace Kyler Murray.
I mean, I'm Rodney Harrison, who I think a lot of people respect his opinion. As far as he's covered the game, played the game at a very high level for the Patriots, and he's saying Patriots can't draft Drake May. He said it either today or yesterday.
Oh, I saw that clip.
Like
adamant.
Yeah, very strong conviction against Drake May. So, I mean, he still remains a bit of a polarizing prospect. I mean, there's stuff you like about him, but there remains, like, outside of Caleb Williams, like this quarterback class, I still think there's far more questions about the other three prospects than there are answers.
I'm a little confused by the super chat. I'm going to read it the best I can. Biscuits and Bear, my bad for not remembering your name off camera, guy. But I will earmark 100 for you for the hashtag for the Hold the Line team. If we get MHJ at 4, I'll let you decide if Johnny and Bo get some. Oh,
so number 1, they get nothing. Number 2, Biscuits in the Bear. You can call me whatever you want if you're dropping $10 super chat donations.
You're giving more respect to the guy who said called you off camera guy.
Yeah,
hey guy,
hey, you're putting $10.
You're not that guy, pal.
Bo, the second you toss a $10 super chat down, you call me whatever you want, man. Appreciate you, Biscuits in the Bear.
Damon can be bought, I guess.
For sure, I can be bought.
I was talking to somebody today that said, I told him I work for PHNX Sports to do a Cardinals podcast. He said, "Oh, that Johnny, what's his name?
The Johnny Venerable show?
Yeah, is that Johnny, the JV show? Yeah, I'm a part of that. I'm the off-camera guy on the Johnny show.
Johnny show and Bo. Appreciate that.
Featuring
Appreciate
Bo
hopefully
Brock.
that person's listening right now. Thank you so much for the support, my friend.
With special guest, Bo Brock.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, that's a valuable super chat. Cardinals have a valuable pick. What are they going to do with it? Even at pick 4.
I haven't thought about that.
Jordan Schultz, NFL insider. I said his name correctly. Had
Jordan Schultz
had some tweets this morning. He was up early tweeting, and then he DM'd me to show me the tweets. And I said, what?
Yeah.
I said, what, Jordan? Let's look at the tweets from our friend Jordan Schultz. Something worth watching. If the Arizona Cardinals trade out of 4, left tackle is a huge priority to protect Kyler Murray. They could potentially get more draft capital while still being assured of an elite tackle later in the first. Cornerback is another key target position. Could be the first time the Cardinals take a corner in the first round since Patrick Peterson, 2021. And then he goes on to say, but the Cardinals would need a significant haul. Lots of options for Arizona. Currently hold both 4th and 27. I believe it's going to take a pretty significant haul to leave for, but it's still a possibility. Expecting them to add another offensive lineman and address corner sooner rather than later. Arizona has 11 total picks. Did Jordan just need to put that out there? Do you find anything in that to run with, Bo?
I mean, it does kind of back up, something you reported earlier this offseason that, despite I think what you would call a successful season from the Arizona Cardinals offensive line and them being one of the more consistent position groups for them, that the team was not content and would like to upgrade it. But Joe Alt, when would he get on the field as a tackle for the Cardinals? When would that realistically happen? I just don't know if the draft dominoes would fall to where the Arizona Cardinals seriously consider taking him, right? And I think that they would probably take one of the 3 receivers over Joe Alt, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And so is he talking about if Joe Alt is there at 11th overall?
We know they like J.C. Latham and Fuaga and some of these secondary tackles, but that's if you do the Vikings deal and you can't come up.
Right.
So I don't want to say that's nightmare scenario, but it's kind of nightmare world where you take the Vikings package 11-23 in a first next year, and you do J.C. Latham at 11 and Terry and Arnold at 23. I mean, what he's outlining there is this is the Vikings package if the Cardinals trade down. So I don't love it, but I'm not going to say he's wrong. I mean, Jordan came on this podcast before anybody else and said they're going to get rid of D-Hop. They don't want him on the team. And it happened.
I don't doubt Jordan. And Jordan's not the person I was talking about with the tackle conversation.
Oh no, yeah, you're fine.
That was And also, who remains a very key figure as far as the Arizona Cardinals and who they can get at 11 is Brock Bowers. Like we talked about him yesterday. If some team falls in love with Brock Bowers, who's considered one of the top prospects in it, but obviously due to his position and the value or lack thereof in taking a tight end that early in teams who have been burned by it, in recent history with Kyle Pitts and, his rookie season was a success. And then since then it hasn't, lived up to expectations. Brock Bowers, there was him working out with the Chargers who were at 5 yesterday. I feel like the Jets have been tied to him, but if you've got 4 quarterbacks and you've got, Brock Bowers, that's 5 prospects right there. And you start doing the math and you add, 2 wide receivers in that, you're at 7. It's still a long way to go for one of the wide receivers to fall to you at 11. So, I mean, it's just, it really is, regardless, even if Brock Bowers gets in there, you got Joe Altman in the mix. One of the top defensive players, maybe an edge in Dallas Turner that's in the mix. It's still, you're sitting there and you talk about 11 and you call it poison and you call it's mid and it sucks and all these things, these derogatory terms for the number 11 that was actually on the back of our favorite player in franchise history. But as far as drafting there, it still is a tough spot as far as this draft goes.
It's gross. Let's get some of these super chats here. Danny Redbird's $9.99. Thank you so much, Danny, friend of the program. These flipping show titles you guys putting on your videos are going to make me flipping stroke out before the mother flipping draft even gets here, boys. You're flipping, killing me. Hashtag hold the line. We just call it like we sees it, Danny Redbird. We appreciate the super chat.
Agreed, Danny. And when I have to paste it in every day, it takes a little bit out of me.
A little bit
you know what?
Every day.
Perfect. Let me just call Sunday's show patty cake time with Damon and the boys, and then we'll really entice the people to come watch. It's patty cake with Marv and the boys and the girls. That's what Damon wants to do. Fast forward to Thursday. No one prepared us for this. Oh no. That's what it's going to be. This is called Reality Check with Johnny and Bo. Living in reality, friends.
The Patty Cake Time podcast might actually have to become a thing.
PHNX patty cake.
Get your passy, get your big girl and big boy pacifier, and let's talk about how fast we can order our Marv jerseys when there's never been a hotter mother flipping 4th overall pick. Come on now.
Can you imagine if we didn't brace people for impact? They would carry us out of the Wild Horse Pass.
You lied to us.
Yeah. They would drag us out by our feet and beat our ass in the parking lot. How dare you? You fed me this propaganda.
Let me just tell everybody in this situation, we're in a no-win situation. Either we keep it real. Bo and I are keeping it real on this show, just in case they trade down. The 50-50 odds they do.
How dare you bring up keeping it real?
Keeping it real goes wrong. Keeping it real.
Me and Patrick Peterson after he did me dirty.
We need to just have that clip ready to go anytime I reference that from Super Bowl week last year. Or we can not keep it real and set people up for disappointment. That's what we need to do. We'll just be like, do you want us to just be shill fanboys here and talk about Marvin 24 hours a day? No. I respect people who have sources. And when people who have sources like Peter Schrager put out a mock draft saying, yeah, Cardinals and Giants, watch out for that. Our response is not going to be, Marv, let's do his jersey live on air. It's like, no, we're going to talk about Peter Schrager.
Everybody, settle in. Hit that like button. Let's think about Kyler Murray throwing a go ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's think about Marvin Harrison Jr. in the red zone. What don't you think we want to do those shows?
Don't you want to 6 days away from maybe doing that or not? Jared Reese, $5 super chat. Guys, stop. You missed the full Peyton quote. It's good to be Monty because he's getting 12 Surtain and our first next year, probably. What would be the reaction of our friends at DNVR if that trade happened? And could they spin it into a positive light? Because we know everybody, full transparency, Arcane, everybody at DNVR wants them to be terrible this year. First overall pick, get Shador in a Broncos uniform.
Which is funny too.
Yeah, but if the Broncos just basically gutted their team for JJ McCarthy.
First they would vomit live on air. And then, yeah, I mean, like I know Zach Stevens. He can find positive. He's a very glass half full guy, and he can find some positives. Like, hey, they got their guy, but at what cost? And it's Thanos. Everything. It costs you everything. That's what the answer is. I mean,
yeah.
You gave up an all-pro 24-year-old corner. I mean, look, Ian Rappaport told Jody Ayler this morning, it's not realistic. And then Benjamin Albright basically scoffed at us for asking the question.
Tony Pauline, though, basically said it's going to happen. Yeah, he basically reported that yesterday.
Tony Pauline has sources. He does. He absolutely does.
You're buddies with Tony. Do you have Tony's phone number?
How close is, like, Tony had his report last year about Kyler Murray, right?
That was bad.
And he said Kyler Murray was he basically was a deterrent for the Arizona Cardinals head coaching vacancy, which
is stupid.
It is stupid. But I think when I think about, and I don't know this 100%, but like Tony Pauline's out there at the Senior Bowl. Tony Pauline mostly interacts with scouts. And I think, I think that could be from a scout's take. That's what I believe. It's based in just guessing.
Tony, yeah. I don't know how that ages well for Tony Pauline. Basically saying like he's desperate. I do think he is desperate, but not for that package. It's a big package. Let's pause. Let's talk Fan Mock Friday. We're doing our last. We got a ton of them. We're going to go through them all. We're going to crown the premier Fan Mock Friday winner with,
wow.
I think we're going to give out at least 1 5-star full Monty's today. But before we do that.
That's happening?
Yeah, I think so. Based on some of the ones I've seen. But before we do that, I got to tell you about a 5-star credit union. It's Desert Financial Credit Union, the official credit union of the Arizona Cardinals. For more than 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, dedicating to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community here in the Valley and providing financial solutions, folks, that make lives better. They can hook you up. Checking accounts, I've got one. Savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and more. There's never been a better time. Take the plunge. They can hook you up. Their financial acumen is elite. Best decision I've made financially is to pop on over to Desert Financial, leave my old credit union behind, and represent the Red Seabow with the Arizona Cardinal Visa debit card. Check them out. Go to desertfinancial.com/CardinalsBow to get started.
That's right. It's an OG's Flavoring Friday. We love to celebrate our good friends over at OG's, of course, Arizona's favorite cannabis kitchen. And they've got all the gummy products that you're looking for the experience that you're looking for yourself, because it's different. It's different strokes for different folks around there as far as what gummy experience you're seeking out. If they've got the OG's Naturals, they've got the Big OG's, which is a big, huge perforated slice of 100 milligrams of THC where you can just peel off 1, 2, 3, depending on how you want your day or your evening to go. Are you hold the liner? You need to endure another 90 minutes of us telling you that the Cardinals could trade down? Pop an OG's. They're bouncy, solid gummies. They're delicious. Figure out if you like the fruits, the creams. They got the sleep time gummy. Check out their full product line, ogsbrands.com, OGEEZbrands.com. Also, check them out on your socials, OG's Brands. Check them out in your local dispensary. Got to be 21 years or older. We love our friends over at OG's Brands.
We love our friends. Fan Mock Friday, the last one we get to do this year. We will bring it back next year. We have 14 mock drafts to review from you guys. Sent them in. We grabbed as many as we could for a Fan Mock Friday, and we will declare one Fan Mock the premier Friday before Fan Mock winner. Let's get it started with our friend on Twitter, K1 since day one. He's a great follow. Give him a follow on Twitter. Let's see it, Damon Dog. Rome Odunze in a small yet very realistic trade back bow where you get 2-2s from the Giants. Then coming up with the Minnesota Vikings somehow giving up, another trade. No, you're coming up 27, 138, and 226 to the Vikings. Not sure that's quite enough for pick 23, getting Latu at 23, and somehow Jerzon Newton falls to you at pick 35.
Yeah, so he's got the trade down with the Giants and then trade up with the Vikings. And he goes Rome, Latu at 23, Newton at 35, Troy Franklin 47, Drew Phillips, the corner out of Kentucky, who's a top 30 guy, Blake Fisher, who Daniel Jeremiah likes at the tackle position, is maybe a little bit of a project. Mason McCormick, a South Dakota State guard, Dadrian Taylor Demerson, a safety out of Texas Tech, Bo Limmer, and Nehemiah Pritchard. A lot of top 30 guys for the Cardinals in this draft. Got an A+ from the PFF mock draft simulator. I'm going to give it with Rome and Latu and Newton. I mean, right there, that's going to get you at least a 3. I'm going to get it up to a 3.5.
I'll do the same. I don't think that trade from 27 to 23 is realistic for a mere 5th and a 7th. I think you're definitely talking about a 3rd rounder at minimum. I love the players. I will go 3.5 as well.
No doubt about it. All right, let's keep it going on FanMac Friday. Damon, just throw up the next one. We got our guy Matthew, which is a fantastic name for a Cardinals fan. It's spelled
Matthew?
like Tyrann Mathieu. I don't know if that's his real name. He emailed it to me. He's got the trade up or trade down with the New York Giants. So they get 6. They get their 2nd round pick this year and a future 2nd for the 4th overall pick. And in this PFF mock draft simulator, Marvin Harrison Jr. falls to him at 6. That's the dream right there. Then they take Latu, 27, who Baldy today, Johnny, called the best defensive player in this draft.
Is that good?
Yeah, and you get Johnny Newton. I mean, that's the dream right there. MHJ, Latu, Newton. And I mean, that's an ultimate win. It doesn't matter what you do the rest of the day, but what Matthew did. Zach Frazier, the center from West Virginia, who Baldy really likes. Malachi Corley, beast out of Western Kentucky. Rook out of the defensive lineman out of Clemson. Kyrie Jackson out of Oregon. And the local product, Braylon Trice via Washington. Rock solid one. I'm going 4 Monties on this draft.
Yeah, same. Again, realism, I think Latu could be the first defender drafted. Newton's a 1st round pick easily, so I don't want people to get their hopes up. I think realism knocks it down for me as well. I go 4 out of 5. We go to Ashton now. Ashton's mock. Rome Odunze in a trade down, or potentially, look, it looks like what's happened here, Bo, is the Vikings package was first presented to the Cardinals, and now they come back up for Rome. Then they get Kool-Aid at 23, JPJ, Jackson Powers Johnson, 27, Darius Robinson at 35. Then a couple Cardinal favorites, Fisk at 66. I love the back-to-back picks of Robinson, Fisk. Jonah Ellis, another good one at pick 138. This draft, there's a lot of meat on this bone. I think it checks a lot of boxes, and I'm assuming, I don't have this confirmed, that you're going to get the Vikings 1st round pick next year. So you're exiting the 1st round with 3 of my favorites. I love Rome.
He's
got
that at the bottom there. So if you look at it after his last pick,
he does have it.
Minnesota pick.
I mean, this might be my favorite one thus far. I'm not sure exactly what he had to give up. It looks like maybe a 3rd to come up from 11 to 9, but that's leaving a lot up to chance. It's not impossible. I love Odunze, JPJ, Darius Robinson, and Fisk. I'm going 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, this is really solid. I like the Garando, the speedy running back out of Louisville, had the fastest 40 time for the running backs this year. Theo Johnson's an athletic tight end at Penn State. The only pick I disagree with is 90 from Texas, Tavondre Sweat. I just don't think that they would take Sweat. Known kind of as a partier, and got the DWI recently. So really rock solid one right there. So you weren't going full Monty yet, but you might be prepared to.
I mean, that's a realistic package, and I just like those picks. I like those players. I like defensive linemen. I like Jackson Powers Johnson, and I like Rome. So I'll go. It's a solid 4 out of 5 for me.
That was Ashton's mock. Let's take out Reezy, diehard Reezy baby, jumping in here.
Oh my goodness.
Went the full 7. Did a trade down with the Titans. I guess let's see what they do here. So he did the Broncos trade. So it looks like he got Surtain, got 12. He got Damien. Help me out here. My eyes aren't very good.
Yeah, so the Cardinals get Surtain 12, the 76th pick in the third round and a first round pick next year from
Okay.
the Broncos for 4 and 71.
And
then he trades back up with a third round pick and the 12th pick from the Broncos to get Joe Alt at 7 from the Titans.
So with all that moving and shaking, comes out of the first round with Patrick Surtain, Joe Alt at 7.
And a first next year.
And a first. Brian Thomas Jr. at 27. And then made a trade up to get Johnny Newton at 30. So we're still in the first round here.
Get that 5th-year option.
Yeah. For a hand in the dirt player. We're seeing how much money they're getting on the open market. And then going into day 2, but late after surrendering their second round pick, Jalen McMillan, his teammate at Washington, Braylon Trice, running back out of Wisconsin, Braylon Allen, Dwayne Carter out of Duke, Zach Center, a guard out of Michigan, Darius Mousseau, a linebacker out of UCLA, and then Solomon Byrd, an edge out of USC, Johnny.
I like the players. I think you get a blue chipper and Alt, obviously.
I don't
Brian
think if
Thomas
Alt is on
Jr.
the board, Tennessee's trading out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, there's just a lot to take in here. I like Braylon Allen. Trice is a good value pick. Jalen McMillan is a good value pick. There's a lot of meat. There's just not a lot of flash. So I would say, based on that, probably a 4 out of 5 for your boy.
Okay, let's keep it going. We got to crank these out now. Let's go speedy here. How about Gannonite? You saw him in the super chats earlier. Die Hard dropped this one in the exclusive member Discord. MHJ, he's getting a trade up, it looks like, with the Saints to nab Latu, 14th overall. Johnny Newton at 35. Blake Fisher at 71. Ray Davis, the running back out of Kentucky. This is a little bit simpler. I like the trade up for Latu. Johnny hates it with a fiery passion.
Yeah, I'm not knocking for realism. I'm going to go 3.5 out of 5.
Okay. I like it. That's a good grade. Troy, the troll, mock draft. I put this, but we asked for bold takes. And he went Cooper DeJean at 4th overall, Ladd McConkey at 27, Kool-Aid at 35, Roger Rosengardner at 66. You got Troy Franklin at 71, Marshawn Lloyd at 90. You've got Luke McCaffrey in this one as well. It's he had some fun with this one. Troy did for sure.
2.5 for your boy.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're that.
That's crazy high.
Yeah, I would almost give this as
Coop DeJean at 4.
Soup du jour. Yeah, let's keep going here.
All right. Adam's mock. How about Adam saying MHJ coming back up for Joe Alt? We told him to be bold. Braylon Trice at 62. Blake Corum.
Love the star power. Love the star power. Assuming you don't have to give up future picks. You walk into training camp this year, MHJ, Joe Alt, and Blake Corum are there. This team, the cachet just went out the window. Problem is the defense is still ass. So I'm going to go 3.5 out of 5.
Andrew's mock. Let's check out Andrew's here. This is a full 7 run. I'm going to speed through it. It's a Giants trade, but Marvin Harrison Jr. falls to 6. Johnny Newton at 27. They pull off a trade down in the second round, get a few extra picks with the Panthers. They get Zach Frazier, Adisa Isaac, the pass rusher out of Penn State. They get Kieran out of Yale, the project tackle. Drew Phillips, the corner out of Kentucky. Jonah Ellis from Utah. Braylon Allen, the running back out of Wisconsin. Luke McCaffrey makes it on for a second consecutive mock draft. Nelson Caesar, an edge out of Houston. Josh Proctor, the safety out of Ohio State. And then A.J. Barner out of their rival there in Michigan, a tight end.
Again, Marvin and Newton and their respected picks. I just don't think that's realistic. I'll go 3.5.
Okay, let's keep it going here. Alexander, Marvin Harrison Jr. sticking and picking, holding the line. Did he mean to get?
That's Chop Robinson's real name.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, Chop Robinson. I'm like, who the hell is this? Did he get the wrong Demarius Robinson?
That's our boy Chop. That's our boy Chop.
I can see why he goes by Chop. Graham Barton at 35. Tavondre Sweat, who I don't think is on their board. Cooper Beebe, I like at 71. Kyrie Jackson at 90. Jalen McMillan, a slot receiver
draft
out of Washington. Ray Davis, running back out of Kentucky. Elijah Jones out of BC. Luke McCaffrey for a third consecutive draft. How about Luke McCaffrey making a run here? And then Walter Roos, the tackle out of Oklahoma, played left tackle opposite Tyler Guyton. I really like this one.
I think it's a 4.5. I'll be straight with you. I don't think it's as good as Ashton's. I think it's right there, though. This is really nice draft.
Yeah, I agree. How about
Baldy said on NFL Network, if it's MHJ and Chop, that's an A+ first round, best case scenario for the Cardinals.
If you think that's good, let's check out Joel's mock here. Marvin Harrison in the first, Marvin Harrison with the second pick, first round pick, Marvin Harrison in the second and third. The 3 third-round picks were all Marvin Harrison Jr. This is a good draft.
We're not going to give a grade. We're going to do pass-fail, and of course you pass. This is like you take that elective in college and you just do pass-fail. That's what this is. You pass.
Right. Joel's after my heart.
and give him some credit for photoshopping this. He took some time.
That's excellent.
Yeah. Joel, his real mock. MHJ making a deal to trade up with later in the first round with the Jaguars taking Latu and Newton. This is a trendy draft where the Cardinals come out of the first with MHJ, Latu, and Johnny Newton.
But look what he gave up. That's realistic. Like, he actually took the time.
Yeah.
It would take 35 and a couple extra day 2 picks. Now, I don't know if they do that, but you would basically leave this draft with the best offensive player and maybe the best defensive player. That's pretty good.
Here's what I know. Joel knows ball, and this mock draft proves it. I actually like this the best out of today because I like what he did later. I like Malachi Corley out of Western Michigan. I like Cooper Beebe and Jerry and Jones. I'm going to give him he passes with flying colors with this. All right, keeping it going. Jess, she keeps it simple. 2 picks, the 2 first-round picks, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kool-Aid.
I'm out on Kool-Aid. I think I'm out on Kool-Aid.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just kidding. That's great stuff. If I could sign up for that today, I would sign up for that today because you get Marv.
Rudy. I got Rudy.
He gave us 2.
He did. Rudy wanted to. Was Rudy the one that was upset that we gave him a low money score?
Last Friday, he got a low score. He got like a 2. And he was like, I'm going to submit 6 next week because he just wanted to show the teachers he could do a good job.
We gave him 2 on this show. I'm sorry, Rudy. I have no memory of that.
It was probably me. I'm a little tougher scorer than Johnny.
Our weeks during draft high grades are like a year.
Johnny's out here playing patty cake for his grading scale. We got the Cardinals trading down with the Vikings, then trading back up. They're getting Rome Odunze. Then they're getting Nate Wiggins at a Clemson, speedy cornerback. Then taking Johnny Newton, 27th overall. Zach Frazier, Chris Broswell, Jalen McMillan, Renardo Green, the corner out of Florida State, Cooper Beebe, Michael Hall Jr., a young interior defensive lineman at Ohio State, Gabe Murphy, and then Garindo and Thomas out of Troy to wrap it up at a tackle position.
I like it. I think it's a solid 3.5.
Okay.
Again, it's better than last week. I'm assuming very much chalk 3.5, 4 range. Let's look at his second one, Damon Dog. The last mock on Fan Mock Friday, Arizona Cardinals get pick 6, 47 in a second next year. Marvin falls to them. So you love that. Newton's falling to everybody in this mock because I think PFF's down on Newton. 27, you love that. I like this little mini trade up here. You go up with the Chiefs, you get Jackson Powers Johnson on a 5th-year option deal. I love that. Ricky Pearsall, big fan, according to Damon and Bo. I'll take their word for it. Nealon, a good value pick at 66. You know I love Trey Benson. Again, they do not. I do. BB's good. Braylon Trice. Logan Lee, a new name here in the later rounds. I was pretty solid usually on their defensive line picks. Again, I'll go 4 here. I think the 2 that stood out, what was it? Ashton, and then what was the other one? Alexander. You want to put those 2 back up here? We'll vote on the king of Fan Mock Friday. Again, here is Ashton's mock, the very realistic trade down, then trade up scenario with the Vikings.
What stands out to you, Damon, when Johnny says he really likes this mock?
That he's just trying to infect the young minds of Cardinals fans all over the world and say, we are trading down.
But what did he just say like a minute ago? He's out on Kool-Aid, and he's got Kool-Aid.
But I can see the value.
He did just say that.
I think Joel, his second mock. I think that's what I'm voting.
I'm going Rudy's second
over Alexander's mock right here.
Oh yeah, Chop Robinson, bro. I want nothing
All
to
right.
do with that.
You guys are going Rudy?
No, I'm going with Joel.
Joel Mock 2 right here.
Yes, sir.
Good. That'd be my second.
All right, Joel, I've been outvoted. You are the winner. Fan Mock Friday. You get the prestigious fives, the full Monties here. MHJ, Latu, Newton, Malachi, Cooper, BB, and Mr. Jones there, pick 104. Congratulations. Thank you to everybody who participated in Fan Mock Friday this year. I think we did. Do you think we did over 100 fan mocks over the course of these last few weeks? Feels like we got close to it.
Probably pretty close.
Yeah.
Not 1,000.
Maybe 1,000 likes on this video. Be good for your
hell.
boys. We got a super
gets us live on Sunday night, and we're doing 7 straight days of coverage.
Our wives love it. Before we get to the super chat, so quick announcement. We didn't forget. Gila River Resorts and Casinos Wild Horse Pass. The reminder next week, the draft party. We were told, unfortunately, but fortunately, we are at max capacity, guys. We are over our limit. We gave out as many additional tickets. We allowed a couple other people to buy additional tickets. So I apologize if there's anybody else that's kind of left without a ticket. Obviously, we got more events coming up this summer, this fall. Definitely have a chance to connect, but it becomes a fire hazard if we have any more peeps in the building. So
come on.
So I'm excited to see everybody. If you do have a ticket, if not, you know where you can find us here on YouTube.
It's unsafe. If there's a fire, we can't get out safely. That's lame.
I'm small. It would be hard for me to get through everybody.
Help me. They just don't want more people in there when disaster strikes.
Oh, geez. Let's not bring negative vibes. Let's just say it's going to be a great time regardless, because it's going to be. Matthew of the Matthew Mock Draft, $6.99. Thank you so much, Matthew. Thanks, guys, for the four Monty. Excited for next week. Excellent.
Nice.
We're excited.
Like I said, a full Monty name, Matthew, spelled like Tyrann Mathieu. I like that.
It's a good
Honey
omen.
Badger.
Listen, we're gonna be live. If there's any breaking news, do you think? I'm gonna pose this to you. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Do you think there's a possibility that the pick could be traded before Thursday?
I mean, Monty says he doesn't expect to really get legitimate phone calls until Wednesday or Thursday. So at the earliest, I would say Wednesday, so the day before. But I'd say that's the chances are very low, because I think Monty wants to maximize what he can get, and I think in order to do that, he needs to be on the clock. So unless somebody's just going to come from the clouds with a deal, just a sweetheart deal for Monty Ossenfort, I think he's going to wait till he's on the clock. And then next week, I want to get that ESPN jingle. I just want to hear it a couple times, just in case we don't get to hear it at 4.
Damon, are we allowed to play the jingle, or we get copyrighted?
Yeah, we can do that. We can play the draft sounder.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Let's have that maybe for Sunday's show. If we get enough likes, we'll crank that out. We'll just start playing it, and then we'll be like, the trade is in.
We are loaded next week, by the way. We already have Brian Baldinger. He's going to join us next week before the draft. And we've got Trevor Sikkema, who, for my money, is the best draft analyst going on right now. He's going to join us
on
Wednesday.
Rich Eisen.
Yeah.
He's on every show, including ours, because we're his boys. We're boys.
Even though the first thing Johnny said to him when he saw him at the combine was, "Hey, what's up with the mock draft simulator? How come Jaden Daniels is?"
How come your simulator is a piece of shit, Trevor? He's like, I know. I got to get Jaden Daniels up there. This isn't realistic, Trevor. I'm sorry. I regret that.
It's like I'm trying to mock Marvin. At the time, we just wanted Marvin Harrison to be there at 4.
So well, like Jaden Daniels was going like 26, and I'm like, Trev, come on. I know you guys don't love Jaden, but like, can we just? This is supposed to mirror what's going to go down. 5 Alive going second overall. Come on, Trev. Sweet baby Trev. But yeah, he's gonna be on the show Wednesday. Are we doing? And then next week, Bo and I will do a PFF mock draft simulator, the entire first round with Damon, rotating picks and teams, which will be wild. We're gonna do that.
Should we do that Monday?
Would you want to do it Monday?
Because we'll need some time to do that. Here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to do. And I'm just thinking out loud.
This is good planning on air.
Yeah, on air. I want to do that. And then I want to do all 3 scenarios. The stick and pick Marv.
Okay.
7-rounder. I want to do a Giants trade down. 7-rounder. And I want to do a Vikings trade down.
Well, we better do our all 32 teams than Monday.
Okay.
Or Sunday night.
Whatever you want to do. It's your show.
Sunday night. If we get enough likes on this video, we will draft all 32 teams on this show, which is also known as my show.
So if we have the ESPN sound right, did we play that 32
times? Yes, before every pick. Yes. Via the simulator, and then we just beat it into the ground. By the time it's a Thursday, you're sick of it. You guys are the best.
It's going to be like hearing it for the first time if they're on the clock at 4 and it comes up. The pick is in.
Or will it be? Become a diehard. Go PHNX.com. So fired up to see you guys, hang out with you on Thursday. Again, subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Can't encourage you enough with all the moving parts. Poor Sun Devils got left and rights, hook shots here with their roster. So they've got have how many live emergency pods have they done? We've got Coyotes coverage, the elite Coyotes coverage.
How many live bodies do they have left on that team?
I don't know. Damon, are you gonna have to try out for the Sun Devils?
Over my dead body. It'd be hard for me to get through a show. I'd just be laughing the whole time.
Hey, I say this with 100% sincerity. This group right here, 415 people in the chat, these 3 people on air right now, we have a responsibility to keep it together for Arizona sports this week. We have a responsibility. There's
Marvin
too much other extracurriculars going on. Keep it together.
Yeah. It's tearing us apart, but at the same time, it's bringing us together. And that's what's beautiful about this game, this league.
Like and subscribe. We get a day off. Then we're back on a Sunday night.
Barring breaking news. I mean, if there's a move.
I got plans tomorrow. I can't just go live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No one will watch that.
If a move happens,
there will be no Saturday show. Don't put that.
If a move happens, you
what kind of move? You think they're going to trade the pick tomorrow
in front of a camera?
I'm trying to end this show, and you're talking about Saturday emergency pods, putting that bad voodoo juju on your boy. We're doing a Sunday show. Get the likes up. We're live at 8:30. We're going to do a complete 32-team PFF mock via the mock draft simulator. Baldinger, Sycamore.
Who gets first pick? That's not even fun. First pick's not even fun.
I want first pick.
I'm going to figure. I will decide, and I will inform you both.
That is key. That's a great point, Damon. If you had sat on that until Sunday night, I couldn't have argued it. But now I might argue.
What did he say?
He wants first, so he gets 4.
Dibs.
No, he can't have it because then we would know what he would do.
I'm sorry. The power of dibs, I think, outrules everybody.
We'll pick out a hat. My hat that I'll control from my house.
You want chaos? You know where to find it with your boys here on PHNX Cardinals. Like and subscribe. We'll see you Sunday night.
We all silly like the mayor.